We have new details on coyotes biting people across Lake Las Vegas, and that includes a little girl at the village.
Henderson and wildlife officials say it's happening because people are feeding the coyotes, and the animals in turn lose their fear of humans, and they walk right up to people looking for a handout.
Our Fox 5's Joe Veal broke the story. They are live near the Lake Las Vegas village, where wildlife officials say at least a couple of bites happened there.
Yeah, so we have learned more about the area where I'm standing right now. So the road right behind me takes you right down to the Lake Las Vegas village. And then if we go over to the right here, this spot is where a woman was seen feeding coyotes. And she may not be the only one doing it right here. Many people on air and online have now seen our video of a woman feeding coyotes in Lake Las Vegas and are not happy about it.
So there she is. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's bad.
Another person who lives out here just told me she has reported this woman to the Nevada Department of Wildlife. We followed up with the department on Wednesday, and a spokesperson called this area a feeding zone. He says after a coyote bit a little girl outside the grocery store at the Lake Las Vegas village, officers started investigating and found a pile of donuts in this spot, which they believe someone dumped to feed the coyotes. And on Tuesday, while we were reporting on the bites, 2 coyotes appeared across from the so-called feeding zone. They were not afraid of us, and the Department of Wildlife spokesperson told us no doubt the animals were waiting for us to feed them. The Henderson Police Department put out a warning on Facebook telling people about coyotes biting people. The Henderson Animal Control Administrator says coyotes have bitten 4 people in the last 3 months here. The Department of Wildlife says a woman from Wyoming was sitting on a bench in the village when a coyote came along and bit her. So, no more messing around. The city says it will be enforcing a no feeding measure.
And at this point now, yeah, because it's been such a high public safety risk, if we find people that are actively feeding the wildlife out there, even after we've given warnings and put out the public service announcements and stuff, absolutely the animal control officers would start finding and writing the citations to people who ignore our warnings.
Lake Las Vegas residents Paul and Kathy wanted to know this about the coyotes.
Something is going to have to be done before somebody gets seriously hurt. And in a perfect world, I'd love to see them say they could move the coyotes.
The Nevada Department of Wildlife says that will not happen because by law it can't transport animals that can carry rabies. Instead, 10 coyotes have been put down so far. Wildlife says those coyotes came in looking for food at a specific time. The samples that were tested were negative for rabies. Once again, the main message is do not feed the coyotes.
People feel like they're helping. Oh, it's so skinny. But the thing is that if it's going to hunt and survive, it'll hunt and survive on its own. It does not need human help.
So I asked Nevada Wildlife about extra patrols to monitor coyotes, but they can't patrol private property, but said the village can hire private contractors to get rid of the coyotes if it chooses, saying coyotes are not a protected species. We're live in Lake Las Vegas tonight. Joe Veal, Fox 5 News, local, Las Vegas.